Hi folks, bit of a break from doing my usual videos on tool restorations and woodwork and stuff. One of my biggest passions in life other than doing tool restorations and doing woodwork is shooting. In fact, I've been shooting since, I don't know, probably about old enough to hold a gun, probably about 6 years old. What's brought on this video is it's a nice chap. I'm not going to name the channel, but he posted up a video of him testing out what he said were 3 best spring rifles and his top 5 PCP air rifles. Air rifles, I do lots and lots of shooting. I'm on a farm. Use rifles every day, pest control. Big fan of German guns, so he's got something right there. He put up, in his opinion, like the top spring rifles. I think he put HW77 or 97. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have one of those. I agree, they're an absolute stunning gun. I've also got here synthetic 97 as well. My go-to cart around the farm gun is this 99S because it's lighter and it's just as accurate as the 97 and 77. Also do quite a bit of PCP shooting. Here I've just got a ATA airborne, but I have other ones, Wolfers and so on and so forth. I'll call him out on one thing. He's saying, like, bearing in mind it is his opinion, top spring gun, I would put, and bear in mind I am a massive fan of German HW brands, I would say, have said Air Arms, TX, Hunter Carbine and the full length rifle version. Outshoot these German ones, they really do. They're nicer gun, better trigger, and bearing in mind I absolutely love the record trigger on these German guns. The CD unit on the Air Arms ones are just a league ahead of these. I don't know why, I don't know if it's the length of pull or whatever, but it's a better trigger. There, I said it, I'm going to upset lots of people, but I suggest before they start like give me a load of grief in the comments, they try a Hunter Carbine and they try a 97 or 77, then come back, give me an honest opinion before they like crucify me online. But anyhow, however, point of the video is, I'm now getting to meat and potatoes. This chappie, and he professes to be a high-end Bisley shot, allegedly. Bearing in mind, I was a small arms instructor in the British Forces for a long time, and I shot for the British Army shooting team for a good number of years. I'd like to think I'm an accomplished shot. Certainly no Queen's Medal winner, but not far off. I usually get in the top 50 at Bisley. He was shooting a spring gun, resting it straight on a hard rest, and a couple of people, me included, pointed out he'd be better if he was to shoot a spring gun, resting it is the rifle in his hand to enable to record naturally, and resting his hand on the rest if he can't hold it steady enough. One of the classic things which came up in his video was he was getting what I call springer bounce because he was shooting off a rested surface rather on his hand, and it was throwing his shots and producing split creeps. If you zero your rifle in and you suddenly find this happening and you're shooting off a hard rest, this is what I call springer bounce. And what he was doing, he was getting a reasonable group central, and then he was getting flyers which he rather ungraciously said I was talking a load of rubbish when I pointed out if he'd rested it in his hand it would have been different. Springer bounce will produce these results. You have your centre line, you'll have your main group going centre, and then you'll start getting shots bounce either high left or high right. And you could see it happening on this chappie's video. He was getting like, if it was just one, I'd accept the fact that maybe a damaged pellet, wind or anything like that. But he was getting like split groups happening, particularly on the one I watched. He was getting split groups like that. That is the cause of resting a spring gun on a hard surface. You've got to remember, these are heavy old guns. They've got a damn great big piston and massive spring going in there. When you discharge these, that is slamming into the end here. If you're rested on a hard surface, the gun will just bounce and it'll twist off. It's a bit exaggerating what I'm doing, but it does happen. If you put your hand underneath the forend, rest your hand then on like a bean bag or a sandbag or whatever, and allow the gun to recoil naturally, you'll get that motion and that'll produce far better groups. I really didn't want to do this video because I don't like sort of putting people right, so to speak, and each has their own opinion, but what I'm saying is dead true. When you're using a pre-charged pneumatic like this jobby here, you don't need to worry about that. You've got no piston and spring bouncing around in here at all. They're recoilless, so you can rest them on whatever you want and it will produce the same results. Not with a spring gun. What I'd suggest to the fella, rather than him rather ungraciously saying I was talking a load of rubbish, I would suggest to him, if he is an accomplished shooter, he actually tries what I'm talking about and then come back to me and retract his statement. I've got a lot of experience at shooting spring guns. There's quite a few people on there who sort of jumped to my defence and said I was talking correctly, and it is true. I'm really sorry about having a rant and a rave, but I don't like people basically trying to make me look a fool on something I know what I'm talking correctly about. Hopefully this will help you out, guys. Remember, spring gun hand, pre-charged pneumatic, rest it on what you want. Cheers, guys.